Truth. The longer an audience stays in social media, the more money the social network makes. Truth. When the audience leaves the social network loses money. Truth. The best money for you is made when the audience leaves the social network for you. Truth. Anything that gets the audience to stay on the social network gets promoted. Retweet, like, comment. They stay on the social network. That's what they want. That does nothing for you at all.
As a human being, you're pre-wired to like order and structure. Mother Nature provides this to you in many ways. One example of order was this morning at 5:24 a.m. Arizona time. The sun rose, and at 7:25 p.m. this evening, the sun will set. That's going to happen every day for the rest of your life, except, of course, the times will change based on the seasons. The 4 seasons in a year are another example of order. You know that after winter comes fall, then spring, and then comes summer. Every year, that order will be repeated. Unfortunately, when it comes to using social media strategically, chaos exists instead of order. Most members of Genius Network know that they should be doing something with social media, yet unfortunately most are confused as to what goes where and when and in what order. There's also great confusion about silly postings that have no connection to a business. Yet you probably know in your gut that there needs to be an order of what goes where and when, but you're not really sure of what it is. If that sounds like you, that will end today. As you listen to Paul Colligan's 10-Minute Talk, you will have a system to get your free traffic from social media and build an audience and a following that will buy from you. Unfortunately, most people post on social media everywhere, hoping at some point somebody will do something, but they have no plan or reason or order in what they're doing. The typical entrepreneur has seen a post on Twitter that tells you to look at Facebook, then points you to a YouTube video that asks you to subscribe to a podcast. That's not the best way to do things, and that's what you'll learn in this 10-minute talk. Paul has written 11 books on podcasts and has worked with many Genius Network members on their podcasts, including, of course, me. Paul is the go-to person when it comes to using social media to generate qualified prospects for not only your podcast, but your products and services. Paul's title is The Real Audience Accelerator, how you can get free traffic from your social media and build an audience that buys from you.
All right, so if I've said it once, and you've all said it before, I've said it 1,000 times, social media is like hanging out with the Pope in downtown Portland. Screens get bigger. There I am in front of Pal's book at 2 o'clock in the morning, hanging out in front of the Pope. And then inside of Pal's books in Portland, Oregon, I'm watching everybody watch the guy standing next to the Pope. Now, this is from the movie Blue Like Jazz by Donald Miller, the same guy who wrote Building a Story Brand and that kind of thing. This is what he did before he moved to Nashville. Now, nobody asked. Now, the funny thing, the movie was about how weird Portland is and about how nobody would care that the Pope was there. But as we were filming the thing, nobody cared that the Pope was there. It was the most surreal moment ever. So, another surreal moment. Please follow me on Twitter so I can post my Instagram story to Facebook that has you clicking over to TikTok, but my Pinterest pin that tells you what you need to know so I can tell you what you had for lunch. Hashtag your time is very important to me. No, it's not. Nobody's asking the right questions when it comes to social media, other than Joe. Joe's actually asking the right questions, if you think about it. And here's the question. What is one problem that if solved would solve 100 other problems? Some truths for you, some hashtag truths, some old school hashtag truths. Number one, the secret of my fish deck. Some of you saw this, my Go Fish deck. Some of you saw this at Annual. Everybody will get a pack of this when we're done. We have a tool called the Go Fish deck. It's all of our tools that we use at the podcast partnership. Truth be told, of all the tools that we have, this tool I'm about to show you is really the one that solves everything else. If you do not pay for a service, you are the product they sell. Tom Webster, Edison Research. Truth, the longer an audience stays in social media, the more money the social network makes. Truth, when the audience leaves the social network loses money. Truth, the best money for you is made when the audience leaves the social network for you. Truth, anything that gets the audience to stay on the social network gets promoted. Retweet, like, comment. They stay on the social network. That's what they want. That does nothing for you at all. Truth. Anything that gets your audience to leave the service for you is good for you, but the social networks are not big fans of this. So let's make some order out of the chaos, shall we? All in favor, say aye. All right, we're going to play the game strategically while being bigger than the actual game itself. This is called the Real Audience Accelerator. Each element of the Real Audience Accelerator serves you, not the service. Each element of the Real Audience Accelerator lets you kill the chaos while actually having a plan for social media. Each element of the Real Audience Accelerator lets you finally see some real results from social media.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying this video, and I want to let you know that I have a new book that's come out, and if you'd like to get it absolutely free, there's a link below in the description, or you can wait till the end of this video, or you can simply go to joesfreebook.com and you can get a copy there.
Now, this is a picture of it. This is a terrible screenshot. You will all get a copy of this. I worked with Joel last night. Joel says, never do something that ugly. Do this. You'll get a copy of it. You'll get the decks. You don't have to take pictures. Here's the idea. Social media is for one idea, one thing. You use social media to share an idea, one idea. Not your discourse, not your diatribe, not everything that you ever learned about anything. One idea on social. Social will get them, if you do it right, to click over to your podcast. The podcast, after several episodes, is where you build trust that gets them to give you an email that starts the engagement that gets you the sales through conversion. Step one, social to the podcast. Now, I took a couple of podcasts out here. I know we all like social media posts about burritos and healthy food, but you know, how you invest your nest egg is more than just awareness of volatility. Who's intrigued by that? Who might click? That's something Joe Clark said in his recent podcast. The people that want to dispense the most advice about how to do a sabbatical are people who have never truly had one. Who's going to click on that a lot more than they're going to click on 10 steps to a successful sabbatical? See, we shared ideas, and these are from podcasts in the room. If you see a social media post that goes, maybe I should listen to that show, you're at the right place. How many social media posts have led you to go, maybe I should listen to that show? Okay? Tell them why to listen. Tell them how to listen. One idea. Make it easy to listen. One idea. Clicks is your goal. Like, share, comment, their goal. Don't ask them to like your post. Don't ask them to share your post. Ask them to click to listen to the episode. Play your game, not their game. Step two is podcast to email. So earlier this month, wouldn't it be great if you could just click a button for new email subscribers? Raise your hand if clicking a button for new email subscribers would be pretty cool. Later this month, we took an entirety of 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Joel tells you to get exact. We did 6 minutes and 22 seconds. I recorded a commercial for Joe. We optimized it. We clicked a button. It was added to every single episode of 10X Talk, every single episode of I Love Marketing, every single episode of Genius Network, even the ones from past 10 years ago. Yes, every single one of them. On May 3rd, when we did, about 2,000 people got the ad. On May 4th, about 3,500 people got the ad. On May 5th, a tad under 3,000 people got the ad. Click of the button, 6 minutes and 33 seconds. People who've been listening to Joe on a regular basis, now Joe says, give me your email. And no, you can't do this on YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. Now, the win is the email subscriber. You know, people call me all the time, I want downloads for my podcast. Great, I'll buy them for you from China. They're really cheap. Awkward silence. No, you don't want downloads, you want impact. How do you measure impact? You measure impact with the email subscriber. The trust comes from multiple listens to your show. It's not, oh, I did a really interesting interview with a really interesting person. Nah. They come for the content, they stay for the voice. The people who've listened to Joe episode after episode after episode for year after year after year, if Joe comes on and says, by the way, I've got something for you, give me your email address, you sign up. This is what you do. Trust comes from multiple listens to a podcast. They're ready for more after that, and this is what you want. Step three, email to engagement. You start the real engagement by the emails. Who has an inbox like this? Joe Polish, the truth about glop. Joe Polish, bet on the jockey. Joe Polish, you have to grab them. Joe Polish, one of the greatest, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I have a whole mailbox now just dedicated to Joe Polish stuff. Sales to conversion. Yeah, you do too, don't you? Well, I guess you probably should. This guy, Mr. Product Launch Formula himself, Jeff Walker, client, the only way to know how much is enough is to do too much and then back up. And all of a sudden the screen got smaller, but I'll deal with it. So the questions to answer. When you do this, the questions to answer. Number one is your email good enough to publish in a book? Every one of the chapters of this book are previous emails that's sent out. If you haven't sent out an email that's good enough to publish in a book, you got to do something well. Are you giving them something related to the topic? Anybody ever listen to a podcast where a guy just has an interesting conversation with an interesting person and then says, sign up for my newsletter? Great. So you can spam me? But if you give somebody something related to the conversation, the entire game changes. If it's easy for them, you ever heard this one? So go to Google and search for my product X and then type in your, no. Make it really easy for them to sign up for the email newsletter. What can you trade for an email that's a no-brainer? Who's ever been really excited to sign up for a newsletter? What can you sign up for that is a no-brainer? Now, everybody in this room will get a copy of the tools, and everybody in this room will get a copy of the slides. But those of you who are watching it online, you head out to headsuptuesday.com and you can get a copy of this. See what I did there? Yeah. You can do that too. You should do that too. When you direct them to an opt-in based on the content of the podcast that came from an idea that you shared on social, they'll give you the email address that you can begin to do your sales for. And if you have the back catalog and you have the engine that lets you add the ads like we did for Joe earlier this month, click a button, get some new emails to test. Social, one click. Social, one idea and a click. Would you click on the post? Would your avatar click on the post? Podcast builds trust, gets you an email subscriber. Would you give them your email? If you listen to this, would your avatar give you the email if they listen to this? Email leads to the sale, which is the conversion. Would you buy from that email? Would your avatar buy from that email? These are the questions you want to ask yourself. Do you want, raise your hand if you want social media, podcasting, and sales nirvana. Only two want nirvana. No. Who wants nirvana? Ask your kids or ask your parents. 3 steps. Social that matters, podcasts that serve, email that sells.
Okay, I hope you found that video awesome and useful. So if you want to get a free copy of my book, I want you to click here. And if you want to watch some more videos that'll be useful and awesome, click here. Go ahead. You're over here. Do it now. Come on. Thank you. Watch them.